He is. Thank you.
A long, long time ago, there was this train crossing Brazil in very small cities of Brazil. And it was a very hot day in summer, and my grandpa was in this train. There was a lot of people in the train was crowded. My grandpa was a still young man. He didn't met my grandmother at that point, and Grandpa Américo was his name. He was sitting alone, and his hat was in the other seat. And the train stopped in a small city, and a beautiful lady walked into the train. And he thought, oh, maybe she can sit next to me. So he took his hat off the place. And she just crossed and didn't stop in his seat. While he was looking backwards, looking for that lady, suddenly there was a huge silence in the train. And everybody that was looking, that was behind him, was looking forward in silence. And said, what just happened? And when he crossed his eyes, he saw entering the train the worst murderer of that region. He was a criminal, yes. And he had been killed more than 30 people. Half of them for money, because that was his job. And the other half of them just because he thought they were annoying. And this murderer came, and my grandpa was feeling like the food was coming back from his stomach, and the murderer seated next to him. At this point, he was, and murderer looked at him, what? The murderer should have a huge night before because he was very tired, and he just slept. But the food, my grandpa's stomach just came, and he was not feeling well, and at some point, he just vomited in the chest of the murderer. But he was probably very tired because he was still sleeping. But people in the train said, oh. Grandpa Américo said, oh, I'm dead. What can I do at this situation? He tried, how could he leave? There was no space to leave. And people was just looking. Suddenly, the murderer wake up, looking at his chest. Oh, dirty. He looked into Grandpa Américo, and Grandpa Américo just said, are you feeling better? I'm Fabricio Laguna. I'm from Brazil. I'm also known as the Brazilian BA, and I'm representing IIBA today to talk about developing the nimble characteristics of an organization, adapt or die. And that's what Grandpa Américo did at this moment. He just adapted, and he had to be clever. He had to be nimble. And today, let's see if it works. Yes. If we, numbers are a little odd there, but if we open an organization today, probably in 5 years, just 41% of those organizations will survive. I don't remember the names I had here because something happened in my presentation, but it's about 30-something in 10 years and just 20 in 20 years. So surviving for an organization is to keep, not fail, right? And the lack of ability to adapt to the changing market and everything that's happening, and lack of innovations are the primary reasons why organizations do not survive. And that's what we are talking about when we are thinking about reimagining management. How can we adapt? How can we make our organizations to survive? And for that, I'm going to use a resource of William Shakespeare to give you some new vocabulary. Is there a sound there? Sorry. Should be. Sound? Sound? May I try it again? Don't worry. There was a nice music, but let's do it without music. Try again? Don't worry. It's fast. To be or not to be? What's the question after all? Because I never understood this very well. Because to be in English may have two different meanings in my own language, Portuguese, which I believe it's the same language of a lot of people. Who here speaks Portuguese? Oh, well, we are with me. So to explain for those guys who don't speak English, the verb to be in Portuguese may mean two different things. What we call ser, that's a permanent being, a permanent state, and estar, that's a temporary state. So when say to be or not to be, are we saying ser ou não ser, or are we saying estar ou não estar? To explain it more easy, if I say I am Brazilian, in Portuguese I would say eu sou brasileiro. That's a permanent state. If I say I am here, I will use another form. I will say eu estou aqui. Now, I am here. Eu estou aqui. But I'm still Brazilian. Eu sou brasileiro. So those are two different meanings for the same word that you have in English, right? But these two different meanings of a word can give us some vocabulary that is interesting and that changes the way we can talk about stuff, right? And if we think about language, I have seen that in Glasgow Historical Dictionary of Scottish Dialects, they have 412 words to speak about snow. And they are not just the same snow, they are different snows. There's the snow in the morning, there's the snow in the end of the day, there's some snows that are crystal, some that are fluffy, some that are hard. I am Brazilian. I have never seen snow in my life, right? So snow for me as a concept is hard to understand, and it's huge enough for those things I can see on television, right? And think about the Santa Claus and everything. So that's snow. Yeah? Actually, Santa Claus comes in summer in Brazil. So having all these different nuances about snow may be very useful for people who live in Scotland because they have so much snow there. Not for me, but for them it's very important. Why am I talking about language? Because I believe language is important. Language determines the way we thought. When you are alone and you are thinking about using words in your head. So if you don't have the right words, that affects the way you think. So language is very important. And all of this comes because of this study here, called Being Nimble. The scalable capability for organizations to sense and respond to change. This was a global research made by IIBA with a lot of companies trying to understand what can make organizations sense and respond to change. And not just sense and respond, but sense and respond fast and sense and respond precisely. When I saw this study for the first time, I said, what the hell is Nimble? Right? And I did what every one of you would do. I went to Google Translator and I put a Nimble and I found the word ágil. And even if you don't speak Portuguese, you can understand that ágil is the same as agile. And the question came to my head, why the hell did they invent a new word? If the old one was hard to assimilate, I'm trying to understand agile for 20 years since that manifesto that they created, and I'm still trying to understand, what about agile? And now they have a different word for the same thing. Well, that's the opposite of the verb to be. That's not exactly the same thing. In Portuguese, we just have one word, and so we don't have vocabulary enough. In English, they have two different words, and those two different words may have subtle differences. And that's what I'm using here. I'm using nimble as the ability to quick to comprehend, that's in mind, nimbleness of minds, and agile, able to change direction quickly. Let me use a small story to explain that. That's the story of my dog when I was a kid, Pingo, the nimble dog, and the jaguar, an agile predator. Well, I was a kid when we went to visit Grandpa Américo in his farm, and he has a farm, and we took our dog with us, Pingo. Pingo was a very smart dog, a pet from a city, right? Not very used to country and forest and everything. And Pingo started chasing a butterfly, and he got lost into the woods, into the forest. And at some point, he didn't know where he was anymore. And at that point, he saw by the corner of his eyes, there was a jaguar ready to attack him. And he thought very fastly, well, I cannot run away from a jaguar. The jaguar is very more agile than I am. Jaguars can climb trees, jaguars can swim, jaguars can run. It's faster, it's stronger, it's more agile. How can I survive? I'm dead. fastly he looked in the size of his eyes. He saw also a pile of bones. And he jumped over those bones, and he said out loud, like if he didn't see the jaguar, "Oh, what a delicious jaguar I just ate right now." The jaguar thought, "Oh, this must be a very, I don't know, strong dog. He's a jaguar eater. I should keep myself alive. I want to survive." And the jaguar ran away from Pingo. But at the same time, in the high of a tree, there was a monkey. And the monkey saw all that was happening there and said, "Oh, motherfucker, this dog is made our jaguar as a fool. Who does this guy from the city think he is? He cannot come here and take our animals as fools. I'm going to say the jaguar." And the monkey jumped from a tree to another and says, hey, jaguar, come here. That dog made you a fool. Those bones were there for days. Those are not jaguar bones. And the jaguar said, "Oh, now I'm not just starving, I'm in hate. I'm going to eat this dog right now. Come on, monkey." So the monkey went to the back of the jaguar, right? And they started running to get Pingo. And Pingo was still trying to find the way out of the forest. And by the corner of his eyes, he saw the monkey coming in the back of the jaguar and said, "Oh, bastard monkey." He told the jaguar my story. "What can I do right now?" When the jaguar was almost ready to jump over Pingo fake like if he had seen nothing, and said it out loud, "Where's that bastard monkey that was bringing me another jaguar for me to eat?" Right? You see, that's not a jaguar, that's nimbleness of minds. That's how we survive, right? And I'm telling you stories about Pingo, about my grandpa. Let's bring this to management, because that's what we are talking about. How does this apply for management? How does Nimble and Agile apply in management? Usually, and there are different definitions, but that's how the study presents it. When you talk about Agile, this is an overloaded word. You have been here, Agile, very much. And Agile usually talks about a general term for various methodologies and practices, management method. And I say management of product management, project management, business management, any kind of management. So usually when we talk about Agile, we think about user stories, backlog, product owners, product managers. There's a set of rules and ways of doing the work, right? When you talk about Nimble, we are defining Nimble as an organizational ability to navigate in predictable business environments and operationalize innovation through a scalable ability to understand and respond to change with precision and speed, right? So Nimble is about the ability. Agile is about the way we do, trying to have this ability. Some of you may think, "Oh, but why do we need two words," right? So I like very much this matrix because it helps me to understand the difference about those two. In the vertical here, I have a question. Is your company nimble? It can be from a scale of 0 to 100%. So when I say, is it nimble, does your company sense and respond to change fast and precisely? And in the vertical, in the horizontal, we have, does the company work in an agile way? From 0 to 100%. Oh, does it have backlogs, use user stories, epics, and all this way of working? I have not been using Nimble before I see this study. I was using Agile or Agility, and I use it to say something like, oh, this company does Agile, but it's not Agile. Have you heard this before? Isn't it odd? Because it's like ambiguous. So instead of saying, this work does Agile, but it's not Agile, I can say, this word does Agile, but it's not Nimble. Because now I have two words to say two different concepts that's in my head. It's very useful for me, and I would like to share with you this idea of using this word to explain something that sometimes is so hard. And what is your management looking for, or what's your business looking for, even if there is no managers in the business, like in the case of Etienne, you are looking to be nimble. You are looking to sense and respond to change very fastly. And how can you do that? There are some good characteristics that are in this study, but I would like to call you for the attention to the ability to think and respond. So to understand your business. And that's what business analysis brings to the table. I'm not talking about a specific role or job function. I'm talking about the skills that business analysis develops in any professional who is trying to understand business, who are trying to understand strategy, processes, decisions, systems, culture. So business analysis, by definition, it's written in the business analysis body of knowledge. We call it BA book guides. The practice of enabling change. That's what we're talking about, right? Changing organizations. The practice of enabling change in an enterprise by defining needs and recommending solutions that deliver value to stakeholders. IIBA has done a lot of books, they have certifications, they have a lot of stuff, and we would be glad to present you in our booth. I won't take very much more of your time, but before leaving, I would call your interest for the characteristics of an adaptive organization. This study is open for download. I will put a QR code here later. There is a QR code in our booth as well. Here, there are some characteristics. In this study, they brought information from several organizations. And what are the characteristics of the more nimble organizations? We can find here. What are the blockers that blocks organizations to sense and adapt fastly? There are some interesting stuff here with numbers. Just to end it, before we go, I want to give you a chance to experience Nimble in yourself. There's this article I saw in the Times magazine that says that solving puzzles satisfies the Nimble brain. You know that feeling that you have when you solve a puzzle and you say, aha! Doesn't that feel good? Like solving a problem, that gives you joy. That's what, when we solve something and we are nimble, we think. I want to give you the chance to do this right now, and we are going to do this collaboratively, and we are going to, in groups of 4 or 5 people, hold hands facing each other. The first nimble problem to solve is how to do that in this small space, but that's the second part I will give you later. Please, stand up. Create groups of 4 or 5 people and hold hands facing each other. I know my time is over, but that's just the end exercise, right? Right? Do we have groups? Do we have it? Can you do? Yes, I see. Okay. If there is a group of 6, no problem. All right. Attention, please. Now, that's the challenge. I will give you 60 seconds to solve the puzzle, and the puzzle is, now move without letting go of your hands, so that the group has their backs to each other. Not facing each other, but have their back. Like in the picture, you have 60 seconds. There should be a music. Well done. Great. Not that way, like, see how they are? Look. Oh, you did it very well. No, not like that. Keep going. You're going right. You keep going. You're going right. Right. You do it. Not like that. No. This way. Look. Go. Keep going. Almost. No. Again. You see? 18 seconds. Not like this. Like this. See? Not like this. Like this. See? That's how you should like. 4 seconds, 3, 2. Let me take some group that did. Who couldn't fight? Did you come here, please? Come here. I will use you as an example to explain. Please come here. Please sit. I just explained. So, round of applause. Here. I showed this to my son. No. And my son said, Father, it's easy. Think about a belt, right? So what we want this inside part for the outside. How can we do this? If we just change it like for the other sides. He made this solution in 30 seconds when we are playing. So give your hands, please. For those who could not find a way, come on here. So what we are going to, yes, and come on, yes, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, yes, 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 yes. Round of applause, please. Thank you very much, thank you very much. Folks, thank you very much. See you around.